Hey, what's going on? It's Andy Blanks from Youth Ministry 360 here with another teacher prep video. Now this teacher prep video is for lesson 1 of our Jesus and Your Influence Bible study. And as you know, this is part of our bigger line of Bible study curriculum called the Jesus Studies. And it's a really cool lesson. You're going to enjoy it. I think you're really going to enjoy these 4 lessons, this series. It's just a really relevant, really challenging series, and the application is really practical. So I think all of your students are going to be able to really grasp this and be challenged by it. So if you've done a teacher prep video with us before, what we do is we sort of look at the key biblical truth that comes out of the passage that you study, and then really focus on one main application of that truth. We try to kind of keep it simple and really laser focus in on those 2 key pieces of information. Because this is the first lesson, we're also going to be kind of identifying your students' understanding of the concept of influence, helping them understand that and think about it and define it in their terms and specific to their context. And so you'll do that in this lesson. You'll help your students really begin to think about what influence is and the difference in influence. I like to say that all teenagers aren't leaders, but all teenagers have influence, right? Every single one of our students has areas where they can have an impact. So we really need over the next 4 lessons to begin to talk about them about, it doesn't matter if they don't consider themselves leaders or they consider themselves, really able to really dig in and make a difference. They do actually have an amazing amount of influence in their own circles. And it's going to be neat to really bring that out and help them see that. So this first lesson, we're going to be looking at Jesus calling the disciples in Mark chapter 1. This is where Jesus calls Andrew and James and John to they're fishing, and he very famously says, "Come follow me, and I'll make you fishers of men." And of course they do, and that's really, we're not doing a whole lot more in this lesson. It's really a foundational lesson, so it's a relatively short passage. But what we're going to really pull from that is some pretty good discussion application. We're going to help your students see that what Jesus did with the disciples was that he took their somewhat small, we don't know for sure, but somewhat limited scope of influence, as they would have had as fishermen, and there's reason to believe that Peter was a businessman of some note, that he might have had several fishing boats, some scholars think. But Jesus took their relatively small influence and he expanded it tremendously. But not only did he just grow it in size, he grew it in the content of their influence. And he used that wonderful phrase, he took their vocation, they were fishermen. He took their vocation and gave it an entirely new purpose. He says, "You'll be fishers of men." And what he did there was he took their influence and he twisted it and he transformed it into influence for the kingdom of God. And that's really where we want to help your students start off this lesson and start this study, is seeing the influence they have as kingdom-minded influence. And the application of that is you're just going to help them begin to think about where they are influential. What are their areas of influence? Who in their lives do they have sort of an intersection with, or do they have the ability to speak into others' lives? You're going to help them define that, and really not do a lot more than that. We really want just them to begin thinking about this idea of the places in their lives that they have influence. And what you're going to build on this in the next few lessons is really using that influence very specifically and practically to begin to draw people to God. But we want to help them see the idea that the ultimate influence that they can have is a God-centered, kingdom-minded influence that uses their lives for God's glory. And you'll do that by, again, challenging them to really think about where they have influence. So a really cool study. Like I said, I hope you enjoy it. We are always here. We're available via chat on our website. You can give us a call. You can email us. We're always here to help you if you have any questions or any problems or anything like that. Let us know. We're here for you. Hope your lesson goes well, and I will see you on the next teacher prep video.